Hi, welcome to She Spice. You know, there's a familiar adage that all that is done in obscurity ultimately becomes exposed, and that may be valid for Jay-Z. This person has been engaged in a wide range of obscure dealings unobtrusively, yet presently, because of individuals like 50 Cent who won't hesitate to focus on secret insights. We may be drawing nearer to uncovering what's truly been happening. Have you at any point seen how everybody around Jay-Z gets uncovered, yet somehow or another he generally figures out how to remain clean? It resembles that every one of his partners ends up having embarrassments, and he stays immaculate, seeming to be a holy person. Then there's the frightening example of rappers who are possibly in front of Jay, yet they unfortunately die. And unexpectedly, Jay-Z's vocation skyrocket makes you wonder, isn't there no such thing as an excessive number of occurrences? Panther Wright once addressed how frequently somebody might, at any point, luck out before it begins to look dubious. That is somewhat what's going on with Jay-Z, on the off chance that you're a mostly smart individual. When do you begin addressing how fortunate some are to continue arriving? There are reports drifting around that he could contribute to uncovering this large number of VIPs, mysteries safeguarding his own standing at the same time. The enormous tattle is that Jay-Z has somebody in his circle who's known for being a narc, and that is Desiree Perez. She's a major name in his organization, yet here's the succulent part. Back in her past, Desiree got found out with a monstrous measure in Miami, like 35 kilos of Grisella. Blanco, sort of gigantic, as opposed to accepting any penalty, cut an arrangement with the federal authorities, flipped, and began wearing wires to assist with bringing down a few major parts of the planet in the hip-bounce culture where challenging authority is nearly praised. Being a narc is viewed as a tremendous selling out. I mean, Desiree Perez wasn't simply any witness. She assumed a significant role in a few high-stakes DEA tasks. That is the reason there's a ton of buzz right now about Jay-Z conceivably playing a greater game in the background, particularly with regards to other huge players in the music business like Diddy. Individuals are truly beginning to contemplate whether he's the one calling the shots. Diddy's been a key part for a very long time, yet abruptly, a wide range of outrages and old stories are springing up out of the blue. Old recordings are restoring his home, and things are looking really serious for him, while the facts confirm that Diddy's past isn't flawless, and perhaps he's confronting a few karma. The timing and seriousness of these occasions have people guessing and assuming that somebody with a ton of influence is focusing on him to thump his realm down a stake, and a ton of fingers are pointing at Jay-Z. Puma Wright, who's forever been really frank, has tossed her opinion in favor of guaranteeing Jay-Z's setup. Diddy. If you all don't see the setup, better believe it. We see the setup. I'm holding on to see who's next. If Jay-Z is setting it, then you have an evil spirit. Wilson added his viewpoint with a truly fascinating similarity about administrators on plantations. He said these managers had influence given by the estate proprietors, and they utilized it to hold the slaves under wraps, primarily on the grounds that the supervisors needed to keep their status secure as long as the slaves were useful, and by bringing in cash, the supervisors' positions were protected. Wilson's contrasting this with the manner in which media outlets work. As long as VIPs like Diddy are bringing in cash for the big cheeses, they can do essentially everything except the second they quit acquiring the money or begin creating issues. It seems like people with great influence are prepared to exercise authority over them. This correlation is weighty, yet it portrays the sort of ferocious strategies that may be happening in the background on the off chance that these hypotheses are valid. It shows a side of the business that is about shows of dominance and keeping up with control, with Jay-Z possibly in charge of a few significant moves regardless of what they do, regardless of how right-wretched it is. The guards will make it disappear for however long you are bringing in cash for the people pulling the strings. You can do anything shy of watching someone watching you. The second you quit bringing in cash for them, you have no characteristic likewise in a similar meeting. Panther Wright name drops names like DEH Sanctuary, Enormous, L Woman Run, and R. Kelly propose that Jay-Z has been attempting to kill Contest and be the sole survivor in the hip-bounce world. She portrays Jay-Z as somebody who's attempting to remain on top, as well as effectively attempting to guarantee he's the final straggler, regardless of whether it implies pushing out the people who were once his nearest partners. In A Safe House, he arranged Huge L and he arranged Woman. Run took his life personality and his affection, driving up R. Kelly. He needs to be the one beginning with The Safe House, who was really near Jay-Z once upon a time when there were only several people from the Marcy house. Scraping. By the way, regardless of whether it implied bowing to the law, they were in cahoots. Yet when things got genuine and D. Shelter confronted a government connivance charge, Jay-Z was mysteriously absent. D. Shelter even implied that Jay could have been the person who squealed on him, prompting his capture. Imagine going from closest companions to suspects of treachery. They didn't come to mind to me, they didn't circle back to my family, he said of Jay and another companion, Emery. I connected with Jay so that you don't stress over it. I got you. The Asylum said that when he was at long last ready to arrive at Jay, the rapper said he would assist him with a lawful group, yet he didn't hear back from him. Others started adapting to pleas and leaving, yet De Shelter chose to keep his mouth shut, his head down, and take his case to preliminary. He said he needed to utilize a court-selected lawyer, yet in the end, it might have saved his life, as they didn't come and keep an eye on me. They didn't circle back to my family as you were sitting in there. He needed to utilize a court-selected lawyer, yet in the end, it might have saved his life as they didn't come and keep an eye on me. They didn't circle back to my family as you were sitting in there on that phone, and you weren't getting any criticism. The case is as yet going, and you're saying, well, where's the assistance? Then there's Lady Run. Everyone knows Lady and Jay-Z collaborated in the music of Fabricating a Realm together, yet things got chaotic. Genuine muddled rumors from far and wide suggest that the fracture began due to Aaliyah J evidently feeling weak at the knees over her, yet she wound up with Lady. Rather, that circle of drama could have soured things among Jay and Lady, prompting their expert split and a ton of ill will. The enormous L story has got individuals discussing these wild speculations that Jay-Z's been in some way managing rappers who hinder his progress. Panther Wright tosses it back to when Jay-Z was simply one more rapper in New York, attempting to leave his imprint as per her. In those days, he was spending time with Enormous L, a rapper who was going to become famous similarly as Large L was set to sparkle. Things proceeded, and unexpectedly Jay-Z's profession got going. Puma believes that is all in all too helpful to be only a happenstance. Huge L was who placed Jay-Z on, and afterward, Enormous L passed on, and afterward, before you know it, Jay-Z, then you have what is happening with the legends. Infamous, Enormous, and Tupac. Recall how Jay-Z was getting very close with Enormous and Diddy. Well, after Big Deal and Pac unfortunately died, the rap game was basically available for anyone, and it transformed into somewhat of an epic showdown. Jay-Z figured out how to come out, seeming to be the following enormous thing. Panther brings up that Jay-Z's ascent in the midst of this multitude of misfortunes doesn't precisely seem like just karma. Puma raises an admirable statement. How often might somebody, at any point, luck out before you begin addressing it on the off chance that it's simply karma? Biggie kicked the bucket. Tupac kicked the bucket. There was the battle between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and afterward, before you knew it, Nas had a mental meltdown. Assuming you're a mostly savvy individual, when do you begin addressing how fortunate some keep getting? Cassidy dropped a few remarks in a meeting, implying that there may be a reality to the possibility that Jay-Z's profession got a significant lift from the troublesome ends of Biggie and Tupac. Cassidy stalls down, saying Big Deal and Pac weren't making their own hits. They were motivating an entire bundle of others to make exemplary music. As per him, a lot of craftsmen making great music today presumably could never have gotten it done on the off chance that they hadn't heard Big Deal and Pac doing their thing. Once upon a time, he tosses Jay-Z in with the general mishmash, saying we wouldn't be who he is currently without the impact of Biggie and Pac. Cassidy is fundamentally saying these folks changed the game with their own catalogs, as well as by motivating an entire age of specialists to move forward with their game. How might Jay-Z have become the Jay-Z that he is, if not for Nas, and I mean for PCK and Huge being out? You understand what I'm talking about when the host tosses an inquiry at Cassidy posing in the event that Biggie and Pac kick the pail sort of prepared for Jay-Z. Cassidy concurs, saying it was a business move, Huge, and Pac had everybody's consideration, making it an extreme street for Jay-Z to guarantee the title of the best in the game. It would have been a genuine test, assuming Pac had kept close by. You understand what I mean? Cassidy calls attention to the fact that there were other very skilled craftsmen in the mix, and with an enormous and packed scene, it was a cutthroat milestone. NC, enormous and packed, were good and gone. It was similar to making way for Jay-Z and Nas to duke it out for the best position. Cassidy gives everything away on how the rap game changed gears after Big Deal and Pac's flight. Jay-Z didn't need to. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.